Xtratime.
2011 ওয়াংখেড়ে 28 বছর পরে ইতিহাস রচনা করেছিল ধোনি টিম ইন্ডিয়া। গ্যারি কার্স্টেন ছিলেন ম্যানেজার, মেন্টাল কন্ডিশনিং এর দায়িত্বে ছিলেন প্যাডি আপটন। দলে তাঁরও কিন্তু দারুণ ভূমিকা ছিল। 10 বছর পর জানালেন কিভাবে ধীরে ধীরে জয়ের মানসিকতা তৈরি হয়েছিল টিম ইন্ডিয়ার।
Hey folks, Paddy Upton here on the 2nd of April 2021 and the 10th year anniversary of, without a doubt, the most exciting day of my life, the 2011 ICC Cricket World Cup won by Team India. Just such fond memories of that time. If I think back to 3 years literally before that 2011 when Gary Kirsten and myself joined the Indian team in 2008, the 2 goals that we had set for that team was number 1 to win the 2011 World Cup, something India hadn't done for 28 years. The other goal was to make the number 1 ranked test team in the world, and that 3-year journey with a team with Gary Kirsten, first with Anil Kumble and then MS Dhoni as the captains of that team, an amazing 3 years. And if I think back to the actual World Cup, it really was 10 months out from the World Cup during the Asia Cup final in Sri Lanka, when Gary Kirsten asked the question to myself and bowling coach Eric Simons. He said, if this was the World Cup final that we're about to play against Sri Lanka, are we as Team India ready to win? And the answer was no, we don't think we are. And that really sparked the intense conversation. So what do we need to do between now and the 2nd of April? We've got 10 months to prepare Team India to win that final. What do we need to do? And one of the key things that we realized was no team had won a World Cup at home before. The thinking was because of the pressure, and we knew playing a final at the Wankhede Stadium in the world, at Sachin Tendulkar's home ground in his last World Cup game, it without a doubt was going to represent the most amount of pressure any of the Indian cricketers had ever played under. So we had a lot of work to do. It was an exciting journey, and literally every single meeting, every single practice, every single game for that 10 months was about preparing the Team India for the 2nd of April 2011. So starting the World Cup campaign, it really was not about winning and losing. It was about the kind of cricket we played was the thing we want to focus on all the time. Again, it was deliberate so that when we got to the qualifiers, quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals, the team would be able to focus just on playing great cricket and not succumb to the pressure of those games and the pressure of winning and the fear of maybe not winning. It was a fairly smooth and comfortable campaign, the 5 round-robin games, losing to South Africa, which we learnt a lot of lessons from. The tie against England was an incredible experience, but it didn't really matter in the context of the tournament, only getting 1 point for the tie, and of course 3 nice and easy wins. But probably the important point was the final round-robin game against the West Indies. It was really the first time that Team India had put together 100 overs of comprehensive clinical cricket, 50 overs with the bat, 50 overs with the ball, and going into the qualifiers, we took a lot of form. The biggest game was right up front against Australia, and we knew those were probably 2 of the toughest teams, and whoever made that was going to go through and had the best chance of winning the final. And Pakistan, obviously a massively high pressure game, but it was a non-negotiable. We just had to win that for so many reasons, which India comprehensively did. And then meeting Sri Lanka in the final was actually quite interesting, that it was 10 months later after meeting Sri Lanka in the Asia Cup final that we found ourselves meeting them 10 months later, but so much more prepared and ready to win a final than what we were 10 months earlier. And of course in that game, heartstrings were really tugged on when we lost Sehwag early and Tendulkar early, but we still had The Rock and Gautam Gambhir, and when MS Dhoni walked out to bat ahead of Yuvraj Singh, that much spoken about courageous decision of his, the 2 of them, The Rock, Gautam Gambhir and Mr. Reliable MS Dhoni, brought home the World Cup to India and to a billion Indian cricket fans who were so ecstatic, and certainly for me the most exciting and ecstatic moment of my life was when that ball sailed over the boundary. Incredibly grateful for the opportunity to have been part of it. Thank you. 10 years later, really fondly remembered.
লেটেস্ট নিউজ আর এক্সক্লুসিভ ভিডিওর সঙ্গে আপডেট থাকতে এখনই সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন আমাদের ইউটিউব চ্যানেল। বেল আইকনে ক্লিক করতে ভুলবেন না যেন।